All right. It says we're live now.
It's you guys.
Hello, everyone.
It's us guys. Here we are together. It's the Matthew and Robbie extravaganza. Oh! You guys, the windows are open. The fresh spring air is blowing in across the prairie. We don't live on a prairie. Nope, we live near a river. We live in a barn. You guys know that it's a barn, right? Often when we tell people we live in a barn, they think that we are on a farm.
We're in a field.
Or that we're right next to a silo or a pen of oinking pigs. None of those things are true.
Or a pig of oinking pens.
We live, that's a spoonerism.
That's closer to what we're living
a worderism. No, we're not, friends. There's a river right over there, and there's a park right over there. We're really lucky this time where we get to go walk around.
2 streets over that direction.
That's true.
Is the river. It's not right over there.
I was under-exaggerating the closeness of the... I was exaggerating the closeness. I was underestimating the actual proximity of the river to us. And nothing I'm saying right now is particularly interesting.
Nope.
So, but I do want to warn you...
Where is the agenda?
I do want to warn you that today I am wearing Danger Noodle!
You should have worn that yesterday.
Well, I should have, but I was a little worried that would be a little bit too much fear.
Too much snakes.
So I'm just saying, don't mess with me. Anytime you guys get a little bit out of line today, if anyone starts squirming or shouting,
Matthew's gonna danger noodle you.
Noodle. All right, you've been warned. Mm-hmm. You've been warned. I am going to remove the agenda from the agenda case and lift it up, and I'm going to say hello.
Oh.
Your turn.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I thought you were saying hello to me.
Hello, Robbie. Hello, friends.
Hello, Matthew.
Now be good or...
Danger Noodle!
I don't want to have to pull it out again.
You don't have to whip it out.
All right. It's time for the theme song.
Oh,
before one of you
taps
your foot impatiently.
I'm prepared this time.
All right.
The Robbie and Matthew Show.
It got me again.
It's very, very tricky.
Just hangs in there a little
Drink
extra long.
water.
Oh.
I mean, if you think that this part of the show is a little redundant, it is on purpose redundant because it's always good to drink water.
We need to remind you every day.
Excuse me, cheers. Salud.
Prost, salud.
Oh, we're learning new languages on the Robbie and Matthew Show.
Kampai, and if anybody has any other language in which to say cheers.
Carciofe. Do you know what that is? That's how you say artichoke in Italian.
That's how you say artichoke in Italian.
And
you
Robbie
know how you know that?
Well, tell us, Robbie.
I lived in Italy for a semester.
Yes.
I was studying art.
And
I would go to the same place every day because they made the best sandwiches. And I would get an artichoke, tomato, and I don't remember what the other thing sandwich was.
Olive oil.
But anyway, I would stand in line and I would prepare myself to say this in Italian because my Italian is terrible. And I would say, I know tomato is pomodoro. And then I would get to artichoke. And I would convince myself that I had gotten it right. And I would say, every day, I would say, pomodoro, I carciufi.
Because that sounds right. Carciufi, it sounds so fun to say,
right.
but...
Carciofe. And every day, the guy behind the counter would go, mamma mia, carciofe. And he'd yell at me, because I'd get it wrong every day. And I'd sweat it. I'd be sweating in the line every day, hoping I would get it right. And I would get it wrong every day.
And isn't that better? That if you'd gotten it right, you wouldn't have this wonderful story to share with our friends.
He was always... joshing me. He wasn't really yelling at me.
We're going to show you the cover. I've looked out the window.
I'm still drinking my water.
To build excitement and suspense, because you wonder what's happening inside this book, unless you have read it before. But if not, you're wondering, and if you've read it before, you are trembling with anticipation of the thrilling story being read for you again. I'm doing a little bit of presuming about your interior state, but that's my job. That's my job. I'm here to presume. I hope you're not offended by it. It's part of the task of Danger Noodle!
I don't know what you guys have been talking about, but I just finished my water.
Robbie, everybody has become old and experienced. And
Lamb and Turtle drank theirs in 2 seconds flat.
Lamb and Turtle, that's because you are reasonable human beings with the ability to... All right, review of what?
Paracord usefulness.
Okay, so...
As reported by Principal Schaefer.
Principal Schaefer's mother, on behalf of Principal Schaefer, because her mother serves the secretarial duties and executes all of the directives and wisdom that Principal Schaefer dishes out, sent us a follow-up on yesterday. So yesterday we showed you paracord bracelets, right? They're these wonderful braided bracelets that our children made about 60 of yesterday because in their zeal to take over the small business sector of Chestertown, they made as much product as they could. But this is what it starts out as, you guys. It's a cord, right? It's like a thread, and apparently this is what you actually use to attach the parachute to the harness. So it's so strong that if Robbie held it up with her mighty bicep, I could dangle from it, and I could swingle around.
If you were leaping out of a plane and you only had a cord to hang on to.
You want it to be this
You'd
stuff.
want it to be a paracord.
And not say dental floss.
Rubber bands.
No, those things would be less effective.
Yeah.
Paracord is so strong that it is a survival tool.
Yes.
So the idea is you wear a bracelet like this,
Right.
and then if you get stuck in the wilderness and you need to do certain things, you can
unlace it and you have a long piece of thread. Now,
what can
I
you
want
do
to
with
show
it?
you the
What
different things that you can use it for.
Well, you can floss a walrus's teeth. That's one of the things you...
Tie up your gear.
Oh.
Do not floss a walrus's teeth.
You could.
Walruses do not need their teeth flossed. I just don't want you to be risking life and limb when you're already in a dangerous situation.
Okay, not a walrus's teeth, but a cougar's teeth. Maybe a cougar's
Not
teeth.
a cougar either.
All right,
Okay, you can tie up your gear.
Okay.
So, you know.
So if there's a bear in the vicinity,
Yes.
and you don't want to leave your
food,
your
just
chicken nuggets on the ground.
on the ground in a bag,
wanna
he'll come
hang it-
for those. So you want to hang it in a tree with your paracord.
Right.
You can make a shelter.
Yes. So if you have a tarp, for
Yes.
example, you can use the paracord to tie between two limbs and create the structure
tent
that
shape.
holds up and keeps you from getting
Yes.
pelted by the rain while you're eating your chicken nuggets so the bear doesn't eat them.
But you should eat your chicken nuggets in a tree.
But if the bear eats your chicken nuggets, you can use the paracord to floss its teeth afterwards. I just want to cover all the bases.
You can
What
use
else?
the inner core for fishing line or sutures.
Okay,
Now,
so-
the interesting thing is this paracord
Yes,
is
here, look.
oh.
It is multiple threads. And
Yes.
the inside of it,
there's a bunch of little white threads.
Yes.
Or little sort of nylon.
here you go, look.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Little nylon threads on
So-
the inside.
Yes.
So you can use those for fishing line
What?
or sutures. You're in bad shape if you're using it for sutures, but just in case.
But you can.
Sutures are they're the stitches when you have an open wound that you have to stitch
Hey,
together.
look, man, if you need to stitch your open wound, it's better to have this than nothing at all. Also, with this, you could floss like a field mouse's teeth. So you have lots of options.
Matthew's very concerned. He's like Mrs. Bunyan.
Mrs. MacGyver.
Mrs. Bunyan with his
Look at
concern
this.
for flossing
There's
and teeth.
8 different strands in here, so you could,
You could do a lot of flossing
You
with
could
that.
use the inner strands to mend fabric. So if you were wearing your stockings in the woodlands and they
Yes.
got a rip, you could fix it right up. You can make a
You can make a splint for a broken limb after you tie up your sutures.
right.
You can just get a log, tie your arm to it, and it'll keep it from the bone from wobbling all around.
You can hang game for drying.
Once
So-
you kill a deer,
or if playing Monopoly, you can hang the game of Monopoly if it's wet.
if your tarp didn't hold up
Yeah.
while you were eating your chicken nuggets in the rain, and
your Monopoly
the rain
got
got
wet.
onto your Monopoly game, you could hang it up in a tree to dry.
Ooh, you can make a perimeter trip line for a warning.
To trip the bears as they're trying to get your
Or
nuggets.
Robbie. If Robbie's getting too close.
Robbie is clever
to
and
your
would see
cupcakes.
this. Matthew would not see it and would absolutely trip.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Fair enough. All right. So we just wanted to
Use
show
it
you.
as a tourniquet.
That's too dark. I don't want to get into that one.
Well, it's an important one.
All right.
This might be the most important one.
All right.
If you're bleeding a lot, you got yourself cut and you bleed a lot. If you tie the string above the wound, you have to tie it super tight, and it's a last resort.
I
Sort
would
of
like to
operation.
say, as a matter of disclaimer, that we are not medical doctors
No,
and we
don't
are
know
not
we don't know what
recommending
we're talking
that.
about. But
All of you
take it-
lawyers who are watching,
Take it along with our recommendation that you floss mouse's teeth with it.
thank you, Principal Schaefer,
And hang
for
your Monopoly
for
in the
sharing that
trees with it.
information with us. What does that say?
Review of paracord usefulness.
Robbie
Okay,
reads-
Robbie reads. I looked out the window and.
We've reached a more
Woo!
age-appropriate section of our program where we read wholesome literature to you and we don't make recommendations about medical care.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to switch over.
Yes, I think you should. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to turn the first page, Matthew, like I always do.
I am starting to learn the appropriate use of my administrative
Okay,
functions. Yes. Okay.
I looked out the window and
Bye.
Matthew Swanson. Illustrations by Robbie Bear. I thought you were
It
going
should
to say
say
something.
written by Danger Noodle.
Noodle.
And you written by Danger Noodle and illustrated by Big W.
Big W.
Big W.
Okay.
Big W.
Here we go.
All right. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
I have something to tell you. This morning, when I got out of bed, I looked out the window and... Something's dripping on my head.
This is my favorite writing in the whole book, this page. I love it.
Matthew really outdid himself
I did.
here.
I did. This is where, when we're doing a reading of this book, one of the kids raises his or her hand and says, "Where are all the words?
What did Matthew do for
Why
this
didn't
book?
Matthew do any work?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really get the business sometimes. All right, here we go. So it's dripping. It's dripping.
It's dripping on his head. I looked out the window and... excuse me for a moment. Just going to put the plant over here to catch some of this water dripping out the ceiling. Now, where was I? Oh, right. This morning, when I got out of bed, can you hold on for a minute? Look at our industrious young man here.
He's so cheerful. Look at he's undaunted.
Yeah, he's not bothered by this nonsense.
And I think he's totally fixed this problem.
Yeah. All right, then. This morning, when I got out of bed, I looked out the window and... oh, my goodness. Just a moment, please.
Maybe he hasn't quite fixed the problem.
Did not fix the problem.
All right, here we go.
As I was saying, this morning, when I got out of bed...
Can you move our window to the side? Just for a second.
Just for a second.
Look what he's doing, you guys.
Boop, boop, boop.
He is using a foot pump to inflate a rubber raft.
A rubber raft.
Okay? And you'll see why in a moment. That's an important thing.
Yes.
It's very good that he planned ahead at this moment.
Okay,
All
don't push any buttons, Matthew.
right. Okay.
I looked out the window and...
Again, so cheerful. Look at this. This young man is resilient, you guys. Resilient is a word
Yes.
that means if something bad happens, you just keep a positive attitude. You keep
Exactly.
going. You don't get defeated by
This
that.
is the sort of guy who would have a paracord bracelet
Absolutely.
and use it.
To floss the teeth of a goldfish is my
I have
guess.
to turn the page again. I messed up.
Oh, that's fine. Do you see how Robbie was accountable for her actions? I admire her for that. All right. Oh, boy.
Oh, it's just filling up and filling up and filling up.
Ooh.
Oh, man. The whole room is floating away. Look
Gone.
at that.
It's just gone.
His poor plant.
Yeah.
Oh, and I saw two... thunder and lightning.
And a lot of rubber
A
duckies.
lot of rubber duckies
Yeah.
fell out of the sky.
Here we go. And one little goldfish? Is that what's it?
Well, that's his goldfish.
That's his goldfish.
He's out of his bowl now. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, it set fire to the page. The lightning caught his page on fire.
But that's actually useful because...
Look what he's going to do.
Oh,
He paddled over to the hole.
look at that.
It's coming back through. Just a moment, please. As I was saying, this morning when I got out of bed, I looked out the window and saw two deer standing at the edge of the yard. Isn't that amazing?
Robbie,
Yes.
what is the moral of this story? What do you think this story is about?
I don't know
And if
what
any
this
of you
story's
guys have any ideas, I'd love to know. What is this story about?
I think the story is about a couple things.
What? Tell me.
One thing is appreciating the wonder and beauty that is right outside your window.
Right.
The simple things.
The simple things that are still really cool.
Right.
What was he most excited about? What did he find most interesting in the whole story? What did he want to tell us more than anything else? He wanted
About the deer.
that he looked out the window and
Yes.
saw the deer.
Yes.
All sorts of other stuff happened in the meantime that was
Yep.
arguably more exciting.
Yep.
But to him, what was most important was seeing those deer. So I have a homework assignment for you guys that I want you to work on right now. It's not for tomorrow. The homework assignment is think about something that you once saw while looking through a window that got you so excited. Now, you can use window in lots of different ways here. Maybe it was the window of a cruise ship,
Or a car.
or a car, or the window outside your house, or any kind. What is something you saw while looking through a window that you were so excited about that you wanted to
Yes.
tell someone? Okay? So that is your assignment. We're going to come back to that in a minute. For the time being, I want to tell you a few things about this book. First of all, can you go back to it, Robbie?
Oh.
This book, one of the things that, as the author of a book like this, I didn't just write the words in this book and then hand them to Robbie,
Yes.
because there
is
were
true.
pages and pages you saw that didn't have any words. So if I had just handed the words of this book to Robbie, I don't think she would have understood at all that I intended for there to be this leak in the ceiling and for everything to be filling up with water. So I had to do something else when I wrote this book. I had just the words, and then I had notes where I said, Okay, so the boy is trying to say this sentence about the deer outside, but then he keeps getting interrupted. Here, there's a little spot of water on the ceiling. In the next one, there's some drips. In the next one, there's a big flood of water coming down. Two different stories. One, which are the words you see on the page, and one describing the action that I imagined in my head.
Yeah.
So
he still wrote the book, even
Right.
though he didn't fill the book with words.
Right. So one time I wrote a story that was 1,500 words long, you guys, which is sort of a still pretty short story. But for us, when we were self-publishing books, it was kind of a longish book. And I handed it to Robbie, and Robbie went into her illustration space, and she drew and sketched and da-da-da-da-da. And then she came up to me and said, Matthew, I finished the illustrations for this book, and I want you to keep an open mind. And I said, what do you mean, Robbie? And she said, well, I edited it a little bit. And I said, what do you mean, Robbie? I'm the writer, not you. And she said, yes, but I had a really good idea for how to illustrate it with fewer words. And I was very nervous and concerned, and I was wondering, did Robbie take out a sentence or two here or there? Robbie, I would like you to be honest and tell them what you did.
I took out all the words but 4 words.
6.
6 words.
6 words. And it's very important to me that it was 6 instead of 4. If it was 4, I'd be even more devastated. The 6 words she left in the 1,500-word story were the words,
Dear Santa, I want a pony.
here's the thing, you guys. Robbie was right. By taking out all but those 6 words and telling the story just with
Just in
pictures, it was so much more interesting. The reader had to figure things out. Robbie had to plant clues in the illustrations to tell the story. But even though she took out all the words but 6, I still wrote the story.
He still wrote the story, yes. He still gets credit.
It's just that the story was told. I don't even care about credit.
No,
I'm
no,
just
I
saying,
just mean
I still
you
created
legitimately created the story.
the story,
Yeah.
but Robbie then told it in pictures. So if you guys have ever seen a Pixar movie, at the beginning of lots of Pixar movies are those little shorts, little tiny short movies, and oftentimes they don't have any words, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes they're just telling a story with action.
Yeah, with action.
But somebody wrote that story, even though there aren't any words.
There was still a script.
So when you guys make books, remember, you can make books that don't have words, that have stories told with pictures. So, all right, so have you guys thought about the things that you... Why are you frowning?
Well, no, I didn't know what was happening next because the agenda has not been shown.
Wow, did you see how Robbie... So Robbie objects to
saying.
the agenda, except when it's not there.
If
It's a
I'm
little
going
bit
to follow it,
contradictory.
if I'm being told to follow
What
it, I
does
need
this
to follow
say?
it.
Assignment?
What is the most wonderful thing you've ever seen out the window? We've already done that.
Does anyone agree that Robbie's in a little bit of a mood today?
I'm in a bit of a mood.
But we're going to be indulgent because we admire Robbie, and we know that sometimes you get in a mood. Here we go. Robbie?
Robbie answers first, then Matthew.
Yeah, Robbie answers first, then Matthew. And we also...
I was gonna say, then
I
Matthew
didn't have enough room to
does
write all the
7
things I wanted to.
cartwheels.
I am going to illustrate Robbie's story
Oh.
of what she saw out the window. And Robbie's going to illustrate mine, but we're going to do it kind of quick, right? Because we want to make sure we have time for our friends.
Yes.
Have you guys been thinking
Yes,
about
we
the
have
things?
some good stories of things
Okay.
that were that happened out the window.
All right, so Robbie.
Yes.
Would you please give me a drawing surface and a
that's what
pen?
I'm
Or
working
would
on.
you like to go first? What do you think?
No, you're going to have to draw this. I
Okay.
want you to draw this.
Okay, so Robbie has a story in mind, something that she saw when she looked out the window.
Of course, as usual, my story needs a lot of backstory.
Oh boy.
Okay.
All right. Everybody, get out a pillow because you might need to take a little nap somewhere in the middle of this story.
Oh, wait. I just want to point out some of the things that other people saw out their windows.
Oh, okay. Great.
Principal Schaefer,
Yeah.
Principal Ella,
Yes.
saw snow out the window. That was remarkable because it was Savannah.
Oh my gosh, it's never below
It's
95
so
degrees in Savannah.
Freaking hot in Savannah. We lived in
Whoa.
Savannah I lived there for 2 years. Matthew
Yeah.
had to leave halfway through because he was so hot
It was
and
too
sweaty.
hot. I was so sweaty I had to go
Yes.
somewhere else.
Yes.
Yes.
So, yes.
Well, you're right, Ella. That's absolutely
Yes,
true.
snow in Savannah.
Ooh.
Lamb Turtle also saw deer out their window.
Really?
Yeah.
And were they beautiful? Were there lots of them? Did one of them speak Portuguese, or were they just beautiful deer? I mean, all those things are acceptable answers as far as I'm concerned. Just one.
Deer make a weird noise, don't they?
I don't know.
I want you guys another piece of homework to look up the sound a deer makes. I think it's a weird sound.
Okay, I know moose make the most ridiculous sounds.
Yes.
It's the most. Hey. Waylon.
Waylon saw some ducks.
No, he saw coyote. He said.
Oh, he did.
That's what I thought. Yes.
Where'd I see
I
that?
saw a coyote.
Oh.
Wow. I hope it wasn't a yip snapping, roaring, rootin' coyote. We once saw a coyote eating a salmon on the beach in
yeah.
Alaska, and it was so interested in eating the salmon that we walked right up to it. It was like, I don't care about you. I'm not
Didn't even
gonna
care about us.
Let's see what else. Oh, we have a riddle, which we'll do later.
Yes.
Press, would you?
I think that's
anything
everyone.
Else? Okay.
I think that's everyone.
Robbie, start telling your
Okay.
very long story.
I just need a little backstory.
Okay.
So we go to Alaska every summer.
Right.
And we go fishing for salmon.
Yes.
So when we go fishing, we wear waders, which are basically overalls that are made out of rubber. So you can wade into the water and not get wet. When we come back from fishing, our waders are covered with slime, so they're pretty stinky. They smell like fish. And Matthew's drawing. Here, I gotta show your drawing, right?
Absolutely.
I've lost my mouse.
Is it because I'm drawing?
There we go. Thank
Okay.
you. It was because you were drawing. Okay, there's Matthew's drawing of me and my waders. Okay, so the waders are sticky and slimy and stinky, and we hang them up on sort of a laundry line outside of the back of our house. And we also fish in these rubber rafts, just like the rubber raft that was in this story. A big orange sort of inflatable raft. And our inflatable rafts sometimes get holes in them because of chafing against the rocks, or because sometimes occasionally a bear will step on them. Okay, so we had a raft that was next to the clothesline because it was being patched. We had to put it out in the sun and dry it out and put some glue on it and put a patch on it, and it had to sit there and dry for a long time. So we were sitting down at dinner, and our kitchen table is up next to a bank of windows, and we were eating dinner, and I was eating at dinner, and I looked up and I looked out the window, and there's a little hill next to the house with grass on it, and on the other side of the hill is a whole bunch of bushes. And what I saw out the window was our raft going yunk, 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 disappearing over the grass into the bushes by itself. It looked like it was just moving by itself, creeping away into the bushes. And I thought, what is going on? So we all went outside, and then we clapped and yelled that there was a bear. The bear had taken my waders off of the clothesline. It had taken the raft, and it was dragging it into its little nest back in the bushes. And when we went into the bushes to try to retrieve everything, we were all super mad. We were not being very careful, but we were being loud, which usually scares the bears away. So we were like, what's he doing with our raft? Because rafts are super expensive and they're really impossible to replace. What's he doing with our raft? And we went out, we went into the bushes. There was our raft, totally squashed, and my waders inside the raft. So I think he was getting ready to go fishing. He saw how many fish we catch. He was like, these guys have it figured out. I think I need these supplies. I'm going to go out fishing next time. There you go.
I think he thought your raft was like a great big bear-sized Dorito, and it had like fish smell on it, and he just wanted to eat it.
It did smell super fishy, yes.
So there you go.
That's my story.
The title of this illustration is Bear, Bear.
Oh, Bear, Bear.
Bear, Bear. All right, there you go.
I like that I'm wearing a tie.
No, that's your permit. Around your neck in Alaska, you have to wear your fishing permit, which lets them know that you're a registered fisherman, and it has your driver's license in it too, so they know that you are you. I think it's great that I added that level of detail. I don't know why I created this sort of slim, fast upper body and the wide body below. I don't know why you only have one complete hand.
Well,
there's a lot of... I don't know why you're winking with one.
This was speed drawing. I feel like you captured my essence pretty well.
Thank you, Robbie. All right, I'm ready to tell my story.
All right.
Weirdly...
Hold on.
Robbie and I did not collaborate on what we were going to...
Do you have a bear story, too?
I do.
Oh.
So, one time, I was in Alaska... and I was doing the dishes because I'm not good, at least for a very long time, I was not good at very many things in Alaska. When I got to Alaska every year, my job was mostly to knock over glasses of water and spill them and have Robbie's dad go, I can't say it. I can't say it on the show, but gosh darn it, Matthew! But it was always in a slightly lovable sense, even though it was also... was that me? What am I doing up there? Am I spilling a glass of water?
No, I thought you were doing dishes,
Okay, I was doing the dishes, and right in front of our sink is a window. And I looked out the window, and for several seasons, I'd been hearing about grizzly bears, but never had seen them. They always eluded me. They were always somewhere else. And I looked out across our driveway. There was a large gas tank that held hundreds of gallons of gas that was used to fill up people's trucks and boats, etc. And the gas tank sat in a big sort of like a little concrete bunker that collected things that dripped oily gas. Maybe it was oil. Maybe it wasn't even gas.
I think it was oil.
It was it was oil. And out in the middle of it were two grizzly bears lying on their backs in the several inches of oil below this tank, just rubbing oil into their skin and laughing. It was like bear spa day. And then they would stand up and they'd shake their hindquarters and they'd sort of push against each other like this. And they were just the happiest, oily, dirty bears. And they were so interested in what they were doing that we went outside and stood on the porch. We were several hundred yards away from them, or at least 100 yards away. We were safe, okay? We could have gotten back inside very easily. But I got to watch those two bears having so much fun. It was like two little kids in a sprinkler or in a little wading pool in the yard. No care in the world, just playing and splashing. And
Gross.
one time, bears broke into our cabin up there. And by broke into our cabin, they basically just go up to the wall and say, "Oh, I don't want you to be there anymore, wall." And the wall just says, "Okay, I give up. You're a bear. You're very strong."
Under the window
Yeah.
was like a foot of wood that was just drenched with grease.
Bear grease.
It was just bear
Yeah.
grease.
If you're a bear, being
Yeah.
clean isn't really the point. You're trying to protect yourself, and the more stuff you have on yourself, I guess, the more well protected you are. That's exactly how happy those bears look, Robbie. Robbie's illustration is excellent.
There's
Thank
those
you.
happy bears.
Thank you. And there's Matthew trying very hard not to break any plates.
Yes.
Look how wide-eyed I am. I hope I don't do it wrong. What I want you to do, friends, I know that you are authors and illustrators. You have just come up with things that you have seen out your window that were amazing, whether they were coyotes or write something. Share your picture and your words with someone. I would love it if that someone was me. But if it's not, share it with the people in your house, share it with your secret friend, share it with the internet, OBBIANDMatthew.com. Send it to us, mostly because we want you to make it.
Yes.
We want you this yet. Just know that you can do it, and it'll be fun. Charlie, I want you to do it, Charlie. I do. I know you're out there, Charlie. I want you to do this. All right? Do it and show it to your dad and show it to your mom and show it to Clara. All right?
All right.
I want you to do it. Waylon, I want you to do it. I want to see your coyote, Waylon. I do.
Yes.
Conrad Beckett, I want you to do it. Principal Schaefer, Finn, Carolyn, I want you guys to do this. I know you're out there. I want you to do it.
Principal Schaefer's mom
Yeah.
wants us to hashtag visit Savannah.
Oh,
A little bit of promotion.
well, here's
Tourism.
the problem,
Not at
Amy.
the moment.
Here's the problem, Amy. It's too hot. It's too hot in Savannah. I tried that. It's a beautiful place. Too hot, too sweaty, too drippy. I can't survive in that environment. But others might be more hardy than I am. The Danger Noodle doesn't live in the land of the South.
Yes.
Here we go. Matthew.
Matthew shares his riddle. Oh, you have a riddle?
Every day, I do the New York Times little mini crossword puzzle. And I try to do it as fast as I possibly can. It's a little challenge every day.
Just like he drinks water.
I do,
He
right?
does it in under 2 minutes.
Well, my record is 21 seconds.
What?
Yes, my record.
My record is 1 minute and 20 seconds.
One
yeah.
day I knew all the things. So here was one I didn't get. It took me a while. What gets wetter the more that it dries?
Oh.
What gets wetter
a riddle.
the more that it dries? It's not a joke. It's a riddle. It's not going to make you laugh. It's going to make you go, ooh. All right, that's my prediction. Does anyone know what gets more wet the more that it dries?
What gets wetter the more that it dries?
What gets wetter the more that it dries?
I
What gets
got
wetter
this-
the more that it dries? You got it?
I got the answer on the crossword puzzle, but I don't remember what it is.
I got the answer by getting all the other
That's
things.
what I mean.
Yeah, I got
I
it
don't think
eventually.
I looked
I
at
wouldn't
what-
have figured
yeah.
it out. Do we have? Let's see.
We
Who got
have
it?
some
So
other riddles and
All right,
stuff.
let's hear. I want you to think about this one, you guys. We have
Yes.
how many minutes? We have.
Oh my gosh.
no minutes. It's almost
Yes.
time. So quickly, give me some jokes.
Okay.
Give me jokes.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Goblin.
Goblin who? Goblin who? Goblin who?
Goblin you if you don't give me a snack.
Oh, I'm gonna gobble you up if you don't get goblin you.
Yes.
Goblin you. I like it. Thank
Yes.
you. All right, excellent. What else do we have?
All right.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
had some compliments on your shirt.
A danger noodle?
Yes.
Do you want to see it
from
again?
Sarah.
Danger
This
noodle.
is Sarah's first time. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Thank you
Nice
for
to
coming.
see you. Thank you for
Hola.
joining us.
We also got a hello in German.
Oh, hallo. Is that right?
That's pretty close.
Hallo.
I think it's hallo. You say it with an H. but
Guten
that's okay.
Tag. What does Guten Tag mean?
That means good day.
Good day to
Guten
you, sir.
Is good and Tag is day.
Bildungsroman.
That's
my favorite German word.
That
That's
means
all.
Bildungsroman.
Yeah, thank you
in
very
English.
much. There you go.
Yeah, right.
All right. What else we have?
Okay.
Chow. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Banana in Hebrew
Yes.
is the same as banana in English.
Yeah.
Is the same as banana in Spanish.
Why? Why is it the same?
But you want to know something even more interesting?
What is that?
The word ananas, which seems like it's banana without a B,
Yeah.
means pineapple in French.
Did somebody write this, or is this something you just knew?
No, I knew. I
Ananas.
knew that because
Ananas.
I always thought ananas were bananas.
There's no
'cause that
accounting
makes sense.
for the vagaries of language. I'm going to have to tell you guys the answer to my riddle because we're out
yeah.
of time.
All right.
The answer to the riddle of what gets wetter the more that it dries
Yeah.
is a towel. The more that it dries your body, the wetter it gets.
Boo.
No, that's not boo. That's how riddles work. They have to fool you in some way. That's how riddles work. Don't say boo. Don't say, when Jasper is out and about and he is doing something he thinks is magnificent, he's like, "Look, Papa, I'm doing this."
That's true. You should never say boo.
And I say, no. I say, "Great." And he's like, "Don't say great. Say wow." Like he's very, very clear about the kind of
prescriptive of what
compliment he wants.
Yes.
So don't even try to compliment Jasper. He will
Yes.
he will show you the way. Anything else? What's light as a feather? What? I didn't look at the answer.
What's light as a feather, but a man cannot hold it for more than a minute.
Is this something
Or
that
Robbie can.
only a woman? I was going to say, can only
No.
a woman
No,
can
no.
hold it? What's light as a feather?
Uncle Roji can't do this, but Aunt Robbie can.
Oh, I saw the answer. I shouldn't have
did.
looked. Your breath.
Yes.
Your
I
breath.
can hold my breath for more than a minute, everyone.
Robbie
It's
has
something
trained
I'm very proud of.
with a Scandinavian guru named Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Oh boy.
All right.
I don't feel Robbie's going to pass
Your
out when
breath.
she's doing her training. Guys, we got to go. We're going to go do the Real
We're
McCoys.
going to go to the next
yeah,
one.
come on over.
Come on over to
Come
the
on
Real
over.
McCoys.
If you got more jokes, bring them
Yes.
over.
All right.
All right. Watch out for the danger noodle, friends. Watch out
It's
for the.
gonna be at the
do
next
your
one.
homework. Do
your
your homework. I want to see what you come
Principal
up.
Ella says, do your
Oh,
homework.
Principal Ella will scold you. She'll tie. She'll get you with paracord.
All right.
That's not a threat. That was just. It's not. I promise. Bye, friends.
Bye.